Hello YouTube, this is Bowtied Media, and today I have a review of the Black Eyed Peas album Translation. And Translation is Black Eyed Peas' 8th studio album and second since Fergie had left in 2010. While the Black Eyed Peas were originally a trio consisting of Alp will.i.am, and Taboo, they produced 2 studio albums before Fergie joined for 7 years and 4 projects. In terms of production style and genre, the Black Eyed Peas have pretty much been in the realm of pop and dance pop, EDM pop, with a lot of, hip-hop influences here and there. So this album is still pretty poppy, but has a lot more Latin influence than anything else. And I wouldn't even say Latin influence, I'd go as far to say it's literally just a Latin trap album. I think this album serves as a good point to recognize where the pop EDM industry has gone over the years, in the fact that Black Eyed Peas are pretty much producing that pop dance track or entire projects in all of their cases, I guess. They have a few singles here and there. But how it's evolved, and if you think of The End and how it was a lot more electronic EDM focused, this one now is a lot more Latin focused, and you can see that with a lot of popular music today. If we look back at tracks like I Got a Feeling and Boom Boom Pow, they weren't the most creative back then, but they were fun and poppy and energetic, and now we hail them as classics, actually. But the problem is, with the way the music, their genre is going and the production style of Black Eyed Peas, I don't think any tracks on this project will ever be hailed as a classic. They feel like just products of the time, and I just don't see them going anywhere other than the 2 months after this release. After the 5-second intro vocal sample of This Is the Rhythm of the Night in Ritmo, the entire album, an hour long, is the exact same beat for pretty much the entire length. In terms of a front-to-back listening experience, it's actually quite painful to go through and listen to an hour of the same dun 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 dun. It's just the same. It's painful. It's painful. And I think that goes to show exactly what Black Eyed Peas are trying to produce. They're trying to put poppy, successful songs out there. They're not trying to put out songs that are creative endeavors or something that they think is the greatest project in the world. It's just what's going to make money and what's going to be played a ton. And this is exactly the style that is being played a lot right now. The biggest example of this is the transition between Bowtied and I Woke Up, where they use this kind of Saharan, almost like snake charm vibe feel. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't really know what word it is or what instrument, but they use it to transition the same beat into itself. They go from the beat to the thing, to the sound, and then back to the beat, and it's like maybe pitched a little higher in one area, but it's the exact same. Alongside the repetitive production style, the lyrics are also crazy repetitive. And the best examples of this come from I Woke Up and Get Loose Now. In the span of 3 minutes and 30 seconds, the song I Woke Up uses the term I woke up 30 times, which is a lot. But even more than that, if you're counting the audibles, the words like this is said 63 times across the track, meaning that on average, for the entire 3 minutes and 30 seconds, like this is said once every 3 seconds. I know a lot of EDM songs that just use 1, 2, 3, or 4 words to use the entire song and don't hit the same averages that this song does. Get Loose Now is one of the strangest songs on this project, where it slowly devolves from the weak lyrics like bam, get it, back it up, all that kind of stuff, to literally just the sounds of Rather than trying to create some fun, creative hook, the Black Eyed Peas have literally just resorted to The song is the worst on the album for me, and I think what makes it worse is that it tries to play on your nostalgic feelings using a lot of the samples from It Takes Two of the yeah. And while everyone is entitled to their own opinion, obviously, when I was scouring through the songs on YouTube and seeing a few of the first general comments of what it was, one comment said, "Oh, I love this song. It's my favorite as soon as I first heard it. We need like a twerk challenge to the song." And that to me just shows that the people that are listening to this kind of music aren't intently listening for it, and they're not listening to the production and the lyrics. They're just hearing whatever they want to hear and be almost ignorant with it. They're not really engaging with the music on a deeper level. And that's totally okay. But you need to recognize, if you're like that in that category, that these songs aren't good from a, critic or general understanding. If you just love it for the beat and you think the lyrics are funny or whatever, whatever, you do you, but there's so much better stuff out there that sounds like this, but is produced in incredibly higher quality. The following track, Action, is pretty similar to this one, and I mean, they all pretty much are, but I can understand how this would be someone's new favorite song, or they like this the most on the album, where it has a lot more energy and just more oomph to it than this song does. It feels like a more well thought out version of what we just talked about. And I recognize that I don't speak Spanish or have any Spanish heritage or anything like that, and so I can only relate to this song on a certain level and not at an individual depth, but I still feel like, apart from that, if you were to just make these instrumental tracks or just translate the Spanish lyrics into English, the songs just are uninspired and uninteresting. Okay, but we need to talk about news today. The final track of the album, where did this come from? Starting with a light acoustic guitar, the Black Eyed Peas take a lighthearted approach to the COVID-19 pandemic. Before I go on a mini rant about the song, hear me out. I actually really enjoy tracks and projects that talk about current pandemics. Run the Jewels' RTJ4 is a great example of this, where it talked about the entire BLM movement in the entire project, and it was one of my favorite albums of the year. But after the previous song on this album, Action has just said, I need some action, over and over again, and then goes to this lighthearted, plucky little, we need to all be kind to each other and save the planet, and I don't understand. I really don't. Just the difference of going from, we need some action, give me the satisfaction, to, we need to see our grandparents live to another day, it's just wrong, and there's no reason for this change in pace and style, and it's just... I understand that RTJ4 was probably an anomaly in terms of where it came from and how they were producing it way before this movement even occurred, but the fact that Black Eyed Peas still chose to release the song after everything, and how I'm sure this track was done before the BLM movement and before all of the fight against racial injustice came out, but it just remove the song then, or do something else. I don't understand why there's the pandemic feels like it's already past us, even though it very clearly is not. It feels like it's there, and the song just feels tone deaf, that it's just talking about the pandemic and nothing else. And while you could say that the song makes a few minor references to the fight against racial injustice, I think you could say that it wasn't at all, and those are just coincidence. But the worst thing about this track, I pray that it was just a bad coincidence and it wasn't intentional. Because if it was intentional, it's awful. So the start of this verse talks about COVID-19, so it expresses that, but then goes on to later say that gotta start saying, I can't breathe. Isn't it ironic? When we can't breathe, the planet breathes. What? What did they just say? Hello? Whether or not they meant it, and or it was just, again, it could have been a bad coincidence, they just said that the slogan of I can't breathe for the Black Lives Matter movement is ironic because we are preventing the planet from breathing. Two totally different things here, and you are just being so naive and arrogant and just wrong about two totally different topics at hand and two totally different fights. Black Eyed Peas pretty much just said, don't say I can't breathe as a slogan because we are destroying the earth. What the hell? Again, I really hope it was just an accident and whatever. It just doesn't seem like it, doesn't feel like it, and it's so tone deaf if that's exactly what they were going for. It's just bad. If they really wanted to go for a lighthearted final track like this, using their single from I think almost a year ago now in Be Nice with Snoop Dogg, that is a way better track, and it would have fit the vibe a lot more for this project, and personally I like that song, so it would have been my favorite song off this album. But that was a better approach to the everyone just love each other kind of thing. But this was just, why? Why did you put this song in the album? Okay, I'm done talking about this album. It's repetitive, it's boring, it's uninteresting, it's tone deaf, and 1. This album gets a 1 out of 10. Easily. But I have been Bowtied Media. If you want to hear any other album reviews, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Am I totally wrong about this? Oh, I don't know. Just, I want to hear it in the comments. Leave a like if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you guys in another video.